Okay, good afternoon everybody. My name is Stephen McGinn. I'm from Fingal County Council. I'm one of the walking and cycling officers based in the active travel section. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the shift to sustainable transport, sustainable mobility. So you'll see here we're all about walking and cycling. We're all about moving people from their cars to more sustainable transport. I love this picture here. It's a picture from our bike disco from last year in the Phoenix Park, which is coming up again on the 10th of October. We're really looking forward to that. So as walking and cycling officers, what do we do? Big part of it is promotion of active travel. We implement various different initiatives, from cycling courses to walking groups to data monitoring projects, all these different things, the full spectrum of activities that we need to use to increase people's use of sustainable travel. We also develop opportunities for people. So what we try to do is we try and upskill people where they might have a skills deficit, whether it's they haven't cycled for a long time, or they haven't been able to walk for a time either. We'll work with them on projects to try and build up their skills and build up their confidence. We help develop policies as well around active travel, so whether it's working internally around our sustainable travel policy in Fingal County Council, or working with external groups to try and improve existing policies that are there. We work at a lot of events, like today it's Skerries Eco Fest, and we work with a lot of public engagement at these events. They're a brilliant opportunity for us to come and talk a little bit about what we do. And then we also help to educate as well. We work with a lot of schools, we work with community groups, and we try and spread the positive message of active travel, climate action, and environmental awareness as well. So, some of the cycling projects that we work on, we've things like the bike share schemes. So you may be familiar with Bleeper Bike or Moby Bike. We've got two schemes in Fingal where you can book a bike on demand on the street. We also work with local community groups and businesses around e-cargo bikes. So if you're not familiar with an e-cargo bike, there's a few different types. You can have a closed box e-cargo bike like the one here, or it could be an open box cargo bike, or you can have a long tail bike where you can put people on the back. So we work with community groups, especially like Tidy Towns or like Sustainable Skerries, to give them a cargo bike for 12 months free of charge. And the idea is that they can see just how versatile and helpful they are at replacing a van or a car for their work around the community. We're also working on projects around bike libraries, which is where we work with the community, whether it be through a community centre or through a football club, to give them a suite of different e-bikes. So it might be a regular e-bike, an e-cargo bike, or a long tail bike as well. And people can apply to use that for free of charge for 3 months at a time. And it's a really good opportunity for people to try an e-bike before they go and buy an e-bike, because as you'll know, they're fairly expensive. So this is a great opportunity to kind of reduce the risk and just see how useful they are. In Skerries as well, along with three other areas, we run Cycling Without Age, which is basically where we use a trishaw, which is a three-wheeled bike with a seat on the front, to replace a walk for people who can't go for a walk themselves. It's a real nice project. It's volunteer-led. It's all people from the community who run it. And it basically replaces that walk. So if you can't go for a 5-10k walk, the trishaw does it for you with the volunteer. And it's a lovely way of meeting new people and chatting to people along the way about your experience of the local area and the local town, and their experience of the local town. So it's a really nice project. The other project that we've just launched there in the last few days is called our Second Spin project. So this is really working on the circular economy, but also trying to combat the effects of bike theft. So obviously we've spent so much money in the last number of years building up the walking and cycling infrastructure, but unfortunately bike theft is still a real problem. So what we do with the Second Spin project is we've partnered with the Rediscovery Centre in Ballymun, and if a teenager gets their bike stolen, they can report it to us and we'll replace their bike with an upcycled second-hand bike. So it's giving old bikes a new lease of life, but it's also giving teenagers who might have low income or no income the opportunity to keep up active travel, because lots of studies would show us that as soon as someone's bike gets robbed, their shift moves from sustainable transport to more unsustainable transport because their independence is taken away. And the Second Spin project aims to kind of combat that. We also work on other projects like the e-bike Connect project, which is all about, again, giving people a subsidised opportunity to trial an e-bike for a 3-month period. It's €20 for a month for 3 months, so it's €60 to trial a bike for 3 months. And the idea is that you can see the benefits of an e-bike before you go and buy it. And then we also just launched with Irish Rail and UCD the Balbriggan Green Commute project, which is where we've installed a bike bunker in Balbriggan train station. We're giving people 6 months use of an e-bike with the secure parking. So again, trying to combat that theft issue that people see, especially around e-bikes. And the idea is that we've targeted people who drive to the train station for 3 to 5 days a week, and we've given them the opportunity to replace their car journey with an e-bike. So that's just launching now. The bikes aren't out yet. They'll be out in the first few weeks in October. That's a 6-month study with UCD, and the hope is that the results will be quite positive and we'll be able to expand that as well. And we've also launched something recently with Dublin City Council as well around trying to target teenage girls and get them cycling more. So we've linked in with 3 influencers, and I'm not up to date with my influencers, so don't ask me to name them, but they're really positive about cycling, and they're targeting through posts teenage girls to try and get them cycling more and more. And then we've a number of activations to go alongside that as well. So it's not just all about cycling. We have a lot of walking and connectivity projects as well. So we work with men's walk and talk groups all over the county. So the idea is that it's very hard to get men of a certain age to kind of communicate and talk to each other. I can see people laughing in the audience, but you know yourselves, we're a bit more internal. We don't like to talk about our feelings. We don't like to be emotional. The walk and talk groups are designed to try and combat that. So we have them all over the county, and the idea is that men meet up, they go for a walk. It might be 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. They talk about whatever comes to mind. They talk about their week, they talk about work, they talk about things that might be stressing them, they talk about football, whatever it is. But the whole idea is that it's breaking down those barriers and getting people more open to talking. We also have the Healthy Steps project, which is a GP referral walking group all over. We've 3 of them in the county. And the idea is, again, that the GP can see someone who, while they might need medicine, they might need antibiotics, they might need actual medicine, but then they might need fresh air. They might need a chance to get out and use the kind of the fresh air and the walking as their medicine. So it's GP prescribed, and they come along through Healthy Ireland. We have a walk leader on site. We go for our walk. It could be 5 or 10 kilometres, or it could be 5 or 6 kilometres, and then we have a cup of tea at the end of it all. And it's all about kind of building up that social aspect of walking as well, and trying to tackle that social isolation. We obviously support just walking groups as well. So any walking groups in the county who come to us looking for some form of support, whether it's guidance on their route that they're taking, or practical supports around like walk leader training, we help them with that as well. We're also rolling out bike bunkers in a very limited capacity around different areas. And again, the idea with the bike bunkers is to provide secure bike parking in locations where they might not have bike parking. So that could be an estate with terraced house. It could be apartment blocks. So we've got 2 in Barnwell in Balbriggan, where there's apartment blocks there. The people were parking their bikes in the stairwells. Bit of a risk. So we've put in bike bunkers there to see can we reduce that risk. And it's gone really, really well. The number of people cycling has gone up and up and up in the apartment blocks, because they have a convenient place to park their bike. They know it's secure. They know it's weatherproof as well, and it just changes the dynamic a little bit. In Skerries then specifically, we have the Fingal community car, which you may be familiar with. That's an electric go-car that we've partnered with Local Link and Age Friendly with. And the idea is that it's a door-to-door form of public transport for people who have mobility issues or they don't have close access to public transport. And the whole idea is that if you need to go to the shops, or if you need to go to mass, or to a social event, or to a doctor's appointment, or to the pharmacy, that the Fingal community car is there, and it's all volunteer-led. So you book a trip through Local Link. Local Link coordinates a volunteer. They pick you up at your door. They bring you to your appointment. They bring you home. and it's a lovely way to tackle social isolation as well, because people, if they don't have access to public transport, or easy access to public transport, or that support network around them, they generally don't get out too much, or they recede from kind of activities in the community. And the whole idea is to combat that. It's a project we're really proud of. It's only in Skerries at the moment. It's one that we're looking to scale up, and we've proven that it will be successful if we scale it. We just need to figure out a way to do it successfully. And then the last thing then we do is we're doing a lot of work with the ESB around EVs. So we've got 2 pilot projects going at the moment around electric car sharing. And the idea is that we know we want people to walk and cycle more, but we obviously know as well that people do rely on their cars at different times of the year, at different times of the week. So in order to get people to shift to more sustainable transport, they do need to have a viable option of a car occasionally. And the idea with the EVPZ project is to kind of prepare Fingal and prepare the market for the eventual shift from ICE vehicles to electric vehicles in car sharing. So we've got two cars based in Swords. We've got 2 cars based in Malahide as well. And the idea is just to see the real world implications of electric vehicle sharing. What are the real world costs of it? And so far it's going really, really well. Big part of my role is to work with schools. Probably my favourite part of the job. You get to go in and out of schools, talk to young people, figure out what the new slang words are, keep you up to date with all that. But it's a great way of learning what are we doing well and what do we need to improve on. Because if you can look at the world from the eyes of a child, you'll see exactly all the flaws that are there, and you'll see things that like the access barriers or the connectivity barriers. And we love working with schools around that too. So we do a thing called Fresh Air Friday, where we encourage all children, all parents, teachers, local businesses to walk or cycle or scoot to school every Friday. And the idea is just to make that school environment a little bit nicer in the morning. And the more people do it, the more you see them walking other days of the week too. So it's a lovely project, and it's something that we can support with schools, and it's something that we really do believe in. We also run walking and cycling buses. So what we do with that is we work with schools who have parents associations who want to do walking and cycling buses, and we support the parents to get them set up, to make them sustainable, and to support them. And the idea is that just like your traditional bus, there's various stops along a route. Parents will walk with the group, they'll pick up kids at the next stop, at the next stop, at the next stop, and they eventually all get to school together. They're great fun. It's a lovely way to go to school. It's a lovely way to travel to school, and it's something that the more of it you see, the more you think, why don't we all do this? And it's just something that I love doing. Seems a bit redundant seeing as I'm doing it right now, but we do active travel talks. We talk a little bit about what we do. The more chances we get to do it, the better. It's lovely coming to meet people in places like today. You get a real rounded view of the community, what's working, what's not working, where can we improve, and it's just really important for that as well. We do cycle ride courses as well, so we work with, there's a lot of cycle ride tutors around the country. The ones in Fingal, we work with them to make sure that Fingal schools are getting access to the cycle ride course, which is the road safety training on bike. They're 6-week courses, so we support the tutors to deliver that in schools. Excuse me. We also work with autism classes in schools, where we provide the school with 3 to 4, sometimes 5 bikes for the autism class specifically. And the idea is that teachers or special needs assistants in the class get a lot of one-to-one time with their children. So activities like cycling are really good. They're really good activities to do one-to-one. So we work with the teachers and we work with the special needs assistants to give them the basics of the bike training skills that they'd be doing through Cycle Ride. And then the donated bikes as well, which are all upcycled second-hand bikes, support the circular economy. But it gives a good chance for people with an additional need to get cycling independently on their own. And then we can also direct them to our courses that we do. We do a cycling for a Learn to Cycle with a Disability course, which is done in an indoor setting. And it's a really good way of signposting to those courses as well. And again, getting them cycling independently. And as part of that then, when we can, we support schools with various events, whether it's sponsored walks or sponsored cycles or active travel days in the school. And lastly then for me, we do a lot of events. So we do a lot of education and awareness events. Our flagship week is Bike Week in May every year, where we run dozens of events all over the county to support cycling and the promotion of cycling. We also have European Mobility Week in September, which again is about supporting all forms of sustainable transport. I talked about it at the very start, but we run a bike disco in the Phoenix Park every year as well. Amazing event, 8 kilometres of the park, completely closed to traffic, pitch black. Everyone comes, lights up their bikes. We've got cargo bikes with massive speakers on them, and we go around the 8 kilometres, and it's like a disco on wheels. If you're around on Friday the 10th, it starts at 7:45 in the park, and it's not to be missed. It's great fun. We also do a lot of work around data monitoring. So if we're putting in projects, we want to make sure that people are going to use them or that they're being used. So we have modal sensors from Viva City, which capture all the traffic data on a road. And so they capture the number of cars, the number of HGVs, the number of public transport vehicles, the number of people walking, and the number of people cycling. And that gives us data then when we come back, if we want to upgrade a junction or if we want to improve something, we know where the danger spots are, we know where the danger spots are, we know where the conflict zones are. And we also know the traffic flow and the patterns through the junctions. So it allows us to make much better decisions, much more informed decisions. So we've one project at the moment on that over on the Ongar Distributor Road in Blanchardstown, and we're looking at adding in more projects where we're bringing in more schemes in 2026. And the last thing then is our Learn to Cycle tracks. We've 3 Learn to Cycle tracks in Fingal. These are miniature road networks where we've built them. We try to use existing concrete space as much as we can. So we'll take a space like, for example, in Blanchardstown. We have an ice rink that goes in Blanchardstown into Millennium Park every year from November to January. And there's a hardcore surface that was there. It was unused for 9 months of the year. So we've put down a Learn to Cycle track on it. So for 9 months of the year, it's full of kids, it's full of people learning to cycle. It's 40 by 60 metres, so it's a big space. And we've got the miniature road network that mimics the roads around Blanchardstown on it. So our kids who are doing the cycle bike courses can come and do them there for their on-road sessions before they go onto the road. And we also run our balance bike sessions, our Learn to Cycle with a Disability sessions, tandem cycling sessions, everything that you can imagine happens on that Learn to Cycle track. And they also become a community space as well, which is brilliant too. So there's been everything from the nature festivals to concerts to bike week events on the Learn to Cycle tracks. And we've 2 in Swords as well. We've one in Brackenstown, which is in the picture here, and we also have one in Holywell too. So thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but thank you very much.